Hi everybody, it's Carol from Practical Mystic. As always, thanks for joining me today. This video is in response to some subscribers' questions and comments about how to go about beginning to study the tarot, and do I have any books that I could suggest. So I thought, well, why not? Why not address this and maybe a little bit more in depth by doing a video? So here we go. What I'm about to share with you, of course, is my own personal preferences, my own experiences, and things that I teach in my own tarot classes. The first thing that I will say that's very important is the tarot deck that you choose. And I recommend to my students to choose the Rider-Waite deck, and there are many reasons for that. Number one, you're going to find a lot of books that illustrate the Rider-Waite tarot book when you're learning. Number two, it is not a pip deck. By that I mean it's not like the Marseilles decks where you have your smaller arcana cards done by just the number of the suits on the cards. You have a pictorial picture which is going to help you to get a feel of the interpretation of that card, that image. And I do believe that symbols work with our subconscious and open up a vista of information for us. So I do recommend the Rider-Waite. Now, the Rider-Waite has 3 different decks to choose from. Not always when I started the tarot. When I started the tarot, there was a few decks, but the Rider-Waite basically was with this background. Now, these are a little bigger. These are my teacher cards, and you might have seen them on some of my videos. And my original deck, I'm very happy to say, has been passed down to a family member. So this is the original one, and you may decide to stay with the original one. I think you're still able to purchase it. And then the Rider-Waite came out with what they call the Universal Rate card. And this is with that navy blue background and the gold speckles, and it has a border. This also you've seen on my videos that I use for teaching and use quite often. And then the last Rider-Waite deck that I'm familiar with is the Radiant Wise Spirit deck. That is the brown, the white lilies, and the orange background. And these cards are borderless. So of the 3, this deck is borderless, and the color symbology is a little different than the Universal and the original Rider-Waite, but it's not a big deal that we're going to go into today. So yes, I recommend that you purchase the Rider-Waite. When you become familiar with it, by all means, go and discover different beautiful decks that are out there and available today. Okay, tip number 1. First thing that I do in my classrooms is I say, why do you want to learn the tarot? And answer that question for yourself. Whatever it is, it's fine. But that may lead you to how that will progress into the future, i.e. myself. The reason why I wanted to learn the tarot, not only was it in the family, was because of the satisfaction of being able to help other people through this tool, as well as other tools. But certainly the tarot allowed me to see what I could divine and guide someone during a time of questioning and difficulty. So my motive was to being able to help people. Your motive may be that you are curious and you want to be able to expand your own consciousness and do personal growth and personal discovery, and you have no interest of doing readings for other people. It's for yourself only. It doesn't matter, but that is a good reason to ask yourself why you want to learn the tarot. Second tip, realize that the tarot is going to teach you at the level that you're at. Now that's a big statement, and basically wrapping that up and trying to get that into a workable understanding is we are all on different spiritual levels. And if you are advanced in a manner of which you understand philosophy, other forms of occults, and other forms of divination, then the tarot may speak to you a little easier and may be more profound in the information that it gives you. So the more that we advance, the clearer channels that we are, the more that we seem to understand the information that the tarot is trying to convey to us. When you start out, I usually always recommend that you keep a journal, because there's the vastness of how you are going to interpret the card 1 week and then maybe interpret that card 6 months after will be different. And you can go back and see how you saw that card at that point in your life, meaning this, and it may have been perfectly okay and conducive to the environment and what was going on. And then 6 months down the road, you don't even view that card in the same manner or perspective, but totally different, like a different level. So keeping a tarot journal, that's just one tidbit of why the importance of keeping a tarot journal. But to log down and put down each card that maybe you're studying or you are doing a layout with, I think it's very important to see different times that that card reveals itself. And it could be that challenge where I hear some of my students say, okay, I take out 2 cards every morning, and I've taken out this card 4 out of the 7 days of the week. Why? You know, you're going to be able to answer that, but keeping a tarot allows you to see that pattern and many other things as well. So yes, keeping a tarot. Okay, so you learning the tarot and you feel like you're getting information and you're expressing this to your friends, and all of a sudden your girlfriend says, oh, please do a reading for me. And you say, sure, but realize that I might have to open up a book if you don't mind, and say, no, I just want to see, and I got a question to ask you. So that's wonderful. I think that that's a great way to learn. Let's say that this time another person asks you to do a reading, and there's a friend nearby, and their friend says, oh, do you mind if I come and just listen to see how this, I'm fascinated by it. I really don't want a reading yet, but I just want to watch and see what's going on here. And your friend Jennifer, who wants the reading, says, sure, I don't mind if Sarah sits and listens. I just want to advise you that sometimes happened to me when I have allowed someone, the reading did not respond to the person that was wanting the reading. The reading responded to the person that was sitting and watching. Okay, now why does that happen? Many reasons. Number one, the energy of the person that is watching has a greater curiosity, heavier energy, and overpowered the person who may have been a little timid once the reading started, or may have closed down, or that person's question wasn't, questions is another area, that person's questions wasn't specific enough or wasn't ready to be answered, and you might not have been able to see that. So I don't advise, even today, as much as I do readings, if I'm doing a reading, it is a very private matter, and I allow that person who wants the reading to go solo. I do not allow anyone else to be in the room, because we all bring in vibrations. Another tip. Okay, since we all bring in vibration, I do believe, I am definitely old school, I do believe that when you invoke, and you may have an invocation that you find that you really like before you decide to open up and do a tarot reading, or you may just do a white light of protection. You are doing that for 2 reasons. Number one, you want the highest and best information to come through you. and you want any other undesirable energies not to be able to infiltrate and to color the reading or influence the reading. So protection is important for that reason, as well as everybody gives off an energy. So your client may come with some trepidation. Your client may come with some fears. Your client may come with any kind of energy. And because you are surrounding yourself with white light of protection and you're wanting the greatest and possible outcome for all those concerned, you're blocking that energy force from influencing you and taking that on. Whether it is something to do with an opinion or a judgment or a belief system that that client is bringing into the room. So that is another tip that I recommend that you do right from the get-go. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I don't want this to be a long video, but I definitely want some tips. Start off slow. Don't be overwhelmed. Do I believe in keywords? Yes, to a limit. Yes, I have no problem, and I even teach many keywords for divining a card and finding the interpretation. But I don't want that to be a crutch. But it is wonderful to learn a keyword or key phrases for cards as a jumping off place where you are, but you don't want to continue with that because your readings are going to become flat and very limited because you're using those keywords to kind of open the door for everything that that card has to offer you. And this is where it's so important to understand the symbols and what the symbols mean and what the colors means and the corresponding astrological signs in the cards mean, as well as the numerology, which is down the road, not to be overwhelmed. But in the beginning, yes, keywords are fine, but we don't want to use those as a crutch. All right, where are the books? Now, the books are really different than when I first started. Yay, and the books I've passed on or given away. So what books do I recommend now? The Complete Idiot's Guide to Tarot and Fortune Telling. Please don't get turned off by the word fortune telling, because when I looked at this book and saw the wisdom in it, I thought, why are you using this word? It's just kind of a taboo right now, especially when someone is out there and tells me, I'm really spiritual, Carol. I'm looking to really understand more of the knowledge and the philosophy and the archetypal energy and the Kabbalah that the tarot has to offer. So the person isn't going to pick up this book, but please overlook that. And this is by Arlene, Tognetti, and Lisa Lenard. And again, a beginner's book. Yep, I would say this is a great one to start out with. Okay, number 2 beginner's book, and this one's a little older. It's The Complete Book of the Tarot by Juliet Sharman-Burke. I haven't looked at this in a long time, but it's in my library, and again, the Rider-Waite, and this is what we're looking at. A lot of the beginning or easier tarot books are going to use the illustrations of the Rider-Waite. This is excellent. Very, very good book. Another one, not expensive. I do recommend that one. Now, everybody is going to know the name Rachel Pollack. And yes, I picked up her books. And of course, they are the 78 Degrees of Tarot, book 1 and 2, which are divided into the major and the minor arcana. Highly recommend these books. Even as a beginner's books, she gets quite in depth with more psychology and the deeper meanings of the tarot. But these have to be in your library if you're really going to become understand the tarot. And then let's say that you have a little bit of background in astrology, because that really does play into the tarot. I do recommend The Wheel of Destiny, okay? Because this book and I'm sorry, that is Patricia Mclaine. This book has within it the houses corresponding tarot cards and tarot spreads that you can do incorporating astrology. Very, very well illustrated. You can see that it's a pretty thick book, very in-depth at correlating astrology and the tarot, a little bit of the planets, talks a little bit about numerology. So yeah, this would be definitely, if you have a background in astrology, you're going to resonate with this book, The Wheel of Destiny by Patricia Mclaine. So those are the books that I recommend. I'm going to wrap it up there, folks. Have any more questions, please feel free to email me or ask me in the comments section. Thanks everyone for joining me today. Happy learning. It's a wonderful craft. It's you know, maybe the word craft isn't the right word. It's a book of knowledge, and yes, I am still learning. Over 45 years of learning the tarot, and it's astounding me that it offers so much information to the person who really wants to look at the knowledge of the world, the knowledge of the cosmos, what's out there for us. The tarot is a beautiful tool. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.